Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into some listener-submitted material today, and it looks like we're talking about making money online. Specifically, we're looking at this excerpt titled, How to Make Money Online in 2025. I mean, it's already 2023. Things are moving so fast online. So who knows what 2025 will bring?
Right. And what's really interesting about this excerpt is that it doesn't just list ways to make money. It goes deeper, really dives into how the digital economy is evolving and how that'll open up even more opportunities. Think about it. Earning from anywhere in the world, setting your own hours, reaching a global market.
Okay, yeah, you're getting me excited now. I've always been fascinated by the potential of online income, but I'll admit I haven't always been successful. One thing that really stood out to me in this excerpt, though, is that it's not just about chasing trends, it's about finding that sweet spot where your skills and passions meet. Did you get that sense too?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the excerpt specifically highlights the importance of specialization, especially on those big freelancing platforms, like Upwork and Fiverr. It even mentions TopTal, which is for more elite freelancers.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
So the point is, generic skills aren't going to cut it in 2025. You really need to have that laser focus. Find a niche that sets you apart.
So it's not enough to be, say, a graphic designer. You need to be the graphic designer for, I don't know, sustainable fashion brands or something.
Exactly. You got it. Become the go-to expert in a specific area. Really hone your skills so that you're the obvious choice for a certain type of client. That's how you command higher rates and build a sustainable business.
Makes sense. Now, another method the excerpt talks about is e-commerce and drop shipping. There's always a lot of buzz around that, but I'll be honest, I find the logistics a little intimidating.
I can understand that. It can seem overwhelming, all the moving parts. The excerpt actually mentions Shopify as a great platform for setting up an online store. But the real challenge, and they emphasize this, is finding that profitable niche. It's not just about throwing any random product online and hoping for the best. You got to do your research, figure out what people actually want to buy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So finding suppliers, figuring out inventory, dealing with customer service, it's a lot more than just like picking a product and setting up a website.
Oh, definitely. And that's where a lot of people stumble. They get caught up in the easy money promises, but they don't realize how much work and strategy goes into actually building a successful e-commerce business.
Right. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's always intrigued me. Affiliate marketing. The idea of earning passive income by recommending products you already love sounds pretty appealing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely has a certain appeal. And according to the excerpt, it's only going to become more prevalent in 2025, especially with the rise of, niche communities and influencer marketing.
But I'm guessing it's not as simple as just like slapping affiliate links on your social media and watching the money roll in.
You got it. The excerpt stresses the importance of building a strong online presence, becoming a trusted authority in your niche. Whether it's a blog, a YouTube channel, a podcast, even a thriving social media community, you need a platform to reach your audience. And you have to provide valuable content that genuinely resonates with them.
So authenticity is key here. It's not just about pushing products. It's about building relationships, providing value, actually connecting with people.
Exactly. People can spot a phony a mile away. If you're not genuinely passionate about what you're promoting, it'll show, and people won't trust your recommendations.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to affiliate marketing. I've been focusing on quantity over quality, trying to promote as many products as possible. But maybe it's time to narrow my focus, find a niche I'm truly passionate about, and build a more engaged audience. What do you think?
I think that's a great insight, honestly, and it really aligns with what this excerpt is saying about specialization and authenticity in the digital world.
Wow, this is giving me a lot to think about. And we haven't even touched on content creation, online courses, or that whole virtual real estate thing. We have a lot more ground to cover.
We do. And you know what's really interesting? The excerpt suggests that some of the most lucrative online opportunities in 2025 haven't even fully emerged yet. New platforms, new technologies, new business models.
Okay, now you've really piqued my curiosity. I'm especially intrigued by this whole Web3-based creator economy thing. It sounds futuristic, and honestly, a little intimidating.
I know what you mean. It's a bit of a paradigm shift, but it's also incredibly empowering for creators. I think you're going to be fascinated by what we uncover. So we were talking about this whole Web3 thing right before the break. And yeah, it does sound kind of sci-fi, I get it. But really, it's all about shifting power back to the creators, away from those big, centralized platforms.
Okay, so less reliance on, like, YouTube and Instagram and more control for the people making the content. That actually sounds pretty good, especially after our conversation about authenticity in affiliate marketing.
Right. It all comes back to that. And one of the key ideas in Web3 is this thing called decentralization, which basically means instead of having one central authority controlling everything, the power is distributed among many different participants.
And how does that actually work?
Well, that's where blockchain technology comes in.
Blockchain. Okay, I've heard that term thrown around a lot, but honestly, I don't really understand it.
I know, it can be a bit confusing. But in simple terms, think of blockchain as like a digital ledger. Except it's not stored in one place, it's distributed across a whole network of computers.
So it's like a shared record that everyone can see and verify.
Exactly. And because it's distributed, it's also incredibly secure, like virtually tamper-proof.
Okay, so I can see how that could be useful for, like, financial transactions and stuff.
Right, but it also has huge implications for creators, because now they can establish ownership of their work in a way that was never possible before.
So instead of, say, uploading a video to YouTube and hoping the algorithm picks it up, creators can connect directly with their audience and monetize their content in new ways.
Exactly. And that's where NFTs come in.
NFTs. Non-fungible tokens.
Yeah, those. Don't worry, I know it sounds complicated, but basically, an NFT is a unique digital asset. It's like a digital certificate of ownership. It could represent anything, a piece of digital art, a song, even a virtual item in a game.
Okay, so let's say I'm a musician. Instead of just putting my music on Spotify and getting, like, a fraction of a penny per stream, I could create an NFT for each song and sell them directly to fans.
Exactly. And then the fans actually own a piece of your work. They can collect it, trade it, resell it, whatever they want. It creates this whole new level of connection between creators and their audience.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing. It almost feels like we're moving away from mass consumption and back towards something more personalized, more community-driven.
Right. And the excerpt suggests that this shift is only going to accelerate in 2025. As more creators and consumers get on board with this whole Web3 thing.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. But I gotta be honest, it still feels a bit overwhelming. Like, if someone is just starting out with making money online, do they need to jump on this Web3 bandwagon right now?
It's not something you need to master overnight, that's for sure. But I would say that having a basic understanding of these concepts is becoming more and more important. It's like learning a new language that's going to be really useful in the future.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's about staying ahead of the curve, right? Being prepared for how things are changing. Okay, let's shift gears again and talk about something else that totally blew my mind when I first read about it. Virtual real estate. It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it? But it's becoming more and more real, especially with the rise of the metaverse.
The metaverse. Okay, another term I've heard but don't fully understand.
I know, it's a bit of a buzzword these days. But think of the metaverse as like a network of interconnected virtual worlds.
So, like, you can step into a virtual world, go to concerts, visit art galleries, even buy clothes.
Exactly. And you can own property in these virtual worlds, which is where virtual real estate comes in.
But what's the appeal? Why would someone want to buy land that doesn't even exist in the physical world?
That's a great question. And I think it comes back to some of the things we've been talking about, this desire for ownership, for community, for self-expression, but in the digital realm.
So it's not just about owning a piece of virtual land. It's about what you can do with it. The experiences you can create, the communities you can build.
Exactly. You could build a virtual store, a concert venue, an art gallery, a school, whatever you can imagine.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. I'm starting to see how this could be a huge opportunity, not just for businesses, but for artists, educators, really anyone.
And the excerpt suggests that this is just the tip of the iceberg. As the metaverse becomes more immersive, the value of virtual real estate is likely to skyrocket.
It's like the early days of the internet all over again. So much excitement, so much potential, and a whole lot of unknowns.
And just like with Web3, I think it's important to approach this with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to learn. Spend some time exploring these metaverse platforms, see what people are building, and think about how you might want to participate in this emerging digital landscape.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. We started with making money online, but we've really stumbled into a whole new world of possibilities.
I agree. And what I find so fascinating is that all of these seemingly futuristic concepts, they're really rooted in very human desires. Connection, creativity, self-expression, the pursuit of meaningful work.
You're right. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we use it to enhance our lives and create a more fulfilling future.
And that brings us back to the core message of the excerpt, the importance of identifying your unique skills and passions and finding ways to leverage them in this evolving digital economy.
Whether it's through freelancing, e-commerce, content creation, Web3, the metaverse, the opportunities are endless. But the key is to find your niche, your voice, your unique contribution.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's not about chasing trends, it's about finding your path, building something meaningful, using your talents to make a positive impact.
This has been so inspiring, honestly. But before we get too carried away with all the possibilities of the future, let's bring it back down to earth for a minute. The excerpt also outlines some practical steps for actually getting started with making money online, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's easy to get lost in the big picture, but success starts with taking action one step at a time.
And one of the first steps, as we talked about earlier, is identifying your skills and interests. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? What are you passionate about?
It's about taking inventory of your strengths and figuring out how you can apply them to the online world. What unique value can you offer? What problems can you solve? What needs can you fulfill?
Right. It's about finding that sweet spot where your talents and the demands of the market align.
Exactly. And once you've identified your niche, the next step is to invest in the tools and resources you need to succeed.
That doesn't have to mean spending a ton of money, but you do need the right equipment, the right software, maybe some training.
A reliable computer, a stable internet connection, and the software that's specific to your field are essential. And don't underestimate the value of online courses, workshops, mentorships. Investing in your education and skill development is one of the best investments you can make.
It's about sharpening your tools, expanding your knowledge, setting yourself up for success.
And once you have that foundation in place, it's time to build your online presence. This is how you attract clients, customers, followers, and establish yourself as a credible authority in your field.
We talked about this before, but it's worth repeating. Whether it's a professional website, a portfolio of your work, active social media profiles, your online presence is your digital storefront. It's how the world gets to know you and what you have to offer.
Invest time in creating high-quality content. Engage with your audience. Be consistent. First impressions matter, especially online.
It's about building trust, establishing credibility, showcasing your expertise, and once you've got that foundation in place, the possibilities are truly endless. But amidst all this talk about futuristic opportunities and building an online presence, let's not forget about managing expectations.
You're absolutely right. The excerpt actually touches on this, the common pitfall of unrealistic expectations. It's easy to get swept up in the get-rich-quick hype, but building a sustainable online income takes time, effort, and often a bit of trial and error.
I think it's important to acknowledge that there will be challenges, right? Setbacks, moments of self-doubt, that sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely. That comes up the territory. And that's where resilience comes in, perseverance, being willing to learn from your mistakes. It's not about being perfect, it's about embracing the journey and constantly seeking ways to improve.
Yeah, I like that. Seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, using setbacks as fuel to propel you forward.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to go it alone. Building a supportive network, finding mentors, collaborating with others, that can make a huge difference.
Finding your tribe, sharing your journey, supporting each other along the way.
Exactly. That's what makes the online world so exciting. It's not just a bunch of websites and platforms. It's a vibrant community of people who are passionate about learning, creating, and making a difference.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm feeling a mix of excitement, inspiration, and, a healthy dose of reality. It's clear that there are incredible opportunities out there, but it's important to approach them strategically, be willing to put in the work, and have a bit of patience. What are some final thoughts you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that the digital world is evolving at an unprecedented pace. And the opportunities for those who are willing to embrace this change are truly limitless. But it's not just about the technology, it's about the human element. It's about using our creativity, our ingenuity, our passion to build a future that's both prosperous and fulfilling.
I love that. It's about finding that sweet spot where technology and humanity intersect, where we can leverage the power of the digital world to enhance our lives, connect with others, and create a more meaningful future.
Exactly. And it all starts with taking that first step. Identify your passion, hone your skills, build your online presence, and never stop learning and growing.
The future is waiting. Let's go create it.
Let's do it.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you found it as inspiring and thought-provoking as we have.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning.
So keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the digital world. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.